Just wait guys for one more minute. So guys, let me just start your demo now. Hello everyone, my name is Hemu and we are here to discuss the Palo Alto Firewall demo. And guys, we are starting one Palo Alto plus F5 Ltm combo batch, and that batch we are starting from 12 Feb. Timing for these particular classes is 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and the language of this training is English. And the fees for this particular training is 10,000 INR. And guys, it's a weekends batch. So your classes will happen Saturday and Sunday. First, we will try to complete your Palo Alto firewall, and this Palo Alto firewall needs around total of 8 to 9 weeks. And your F5 Ltm needs around total of 6 to 7 weeks. And both training, Palo Alto plus F5 Ltm, they will go more than 60 hours plus, basically, more than 60 plus hours. Okay. Now let me just tell you some details about ourselves. So guys, we are from Skilled Inspirational Academy. You can check out our website, which is sianets.com. This is our website. We have a video portal, and from this is the portal from where you will get all your recordings. You will get the recording with the lifetime access, and you can see if somebody interested for a video based training, you can opt for these particular trainings from here. So we have a Palo Alto PCNSE level training. We have a Palo Alto advanced tech troubleshooting training. We have a Palo Alto panorama training. And apart from this, we do have a few other training on your F5 Ltm, SD-WAN and other things. This is the portal from where you will get the recordings. This is the link of our portal. Apart from that, we do have a 2 YouTube channels. First YouTube channel name is Sianets. And if you will type on youtube.com/@Hemu sir, you can able to land on my YouTube channel. Apart from that, we do have another YouTube channel with the name of Inspirational Academy or Skilled Inspirational Academy. And this is the URL youtube.com/@Inspirational Academy. Here you will get some videos, some pre-recorded videos, which we have uploaded on Palo Alto Firewall on SD-WAN. You can check out here, right? We do have a panorama videos, some Palo Alto advanced tech troubleshooting videos. We have some Cisco Viptela SD-WAN videos, right? So we do have these kind of videos here. We have some AWS videos, ASA videos and all. Okay. So these are websites, our YouTube details. Now let me just tell you what are the things we are going to discuss in your Palo Alto firewall. So guys, your Palo Alto firewall training is around more than 35 plus hours. You will get the lifetime interview support. You will get the lab workbook. You will get the recorded videos through a video portal with the lifetime access. And guys, I will help you building the lab either in your laptop, either over the Google Cloud platform. So guys, if your laptop is not having around a RAM of 12 GB or more, because for Palo Alto, we need a RAM around 12 GB. If that type of RAM is not available in your system, in that case, we can utilize the Google Cloud platforms. Because if you will subscribe for GCP, they will give you around 24,000 INR as a free credit, which is around 300 USD. These credit is valid for 90 days. Means what we can rent out one server from Google, and we will install the EVNG there, and we will do all type of labs. And these things we are going to discuss, guys, in your class. Don't worry. As I have mentioned earlier as well, this is the weekends base. So your classes will happen Saturday, Sunday, starting from 9 a.m. till 11:30 a.m. IST. After every class, we will have a Q&A session as well, where you can ask your doubts, whatever doubts you will be having in your labs. You can also discuss some practical issues if you are facing some type of challenges in your production environment. These kind of issue we can also discuss in that particular sessions. You will also get the mock interview support if let's suppose you have an interview. In that case, you have to inform us around 2-3 days before, and we will take your mock interview and we will able to get what are the topics where you are lagging, what are the topic which you need to prepare to basically perform well in your interview classes. Okay, so now let's move towards the course content. What are the Palo Alto Firewall course content we are going to discuss? So if I'll explain you the course content of Palo Alto, so let me just start with the course content from here. So guys, in your first class, I will start with the platforms and architecture. In this class, I am going to discuss what type of hardware devices we are having for Palo Alto. Like what is 200 series devices, what is 800 series devices. Just now they've introduced 400 series devices as well, right? What is old series? They have 2000 series, 3000 series. Right now they are not available. Then we will discuss what is the 3200 series, right? Then 5000 series, which is also not they are not selling right now. This is also end of sale, end of life, right? Then they have introduced 5200 series, then 5400 series, then they have a 7000 series, right? Then 7400 series, right? So we will discuss all these hardware devices. Then we will discuss what are the virtual machines or VM devices offered by the Palo Alto Firewall, which we can deploy into your hypervisors or into your virtual environment or into your public cloud environment like AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, Alibaba Cloud, right? Once I will done with that, I'll just move towards the SP3 architecture or single pass architecture. If you know, the main advantage of your Palo Alto firewall is single pass software and parallel processing hardware, right? And we will discuss this SP3 architecture in detail. And in your today's demo class also, I will give you some glimpse of SP3 architecture. Once I'll complete your SP3 architecture, I move towards the flow logic or life of a packet inside PAN-OS or packet flow in your packet flow of your Palo Alto firewall, right? Let's suppose my Palo Alto firewall receive a packet. He is receiving one packet on interface Ethernet 1 by 1, and this packet went out through the Ethernet 1x2 interface, right? Now inside this PAN OS, how my Palo Alto 5 going to process the packet? What is ingress stage? What is flow lookup? What is slow path? What is fast path? What is app ID? What is content ID? What is your forwarding stage? Everything we are going to cover in detail in your flow logic class. And guys, here we will discuss the flow logic according to PAN OS 10. If you will go into the internet, if you will search whatever packet flow you will find over the internet, it's a pretty old one. That packet flow is applied for Palo Alto PAN-OS 6.1, not for PAN-OS 10, because on PAN-OS 10 they have done lots of customization. They have done lots of optimization as well. So we will discuss the packet flow according to PAN-OS 10. Once we will done with that, I will just move towards your initial configuration. How we can do the initial configuration in your Palo Alto firewall, how we can take the access of your Palo Alto firewall with the help of console port, how we can configure the IP address in the management interface of Palo Alto firewall, how we can configure the DNS settings. All such kind of details we will discuss in your initial configuration class. Here I will also tell you what type of help we need to get from the site engineer or field engineer in the production environment to get the access of your firewalls, and we can do the basic configuration on it. How we can take the initial access of your Palo Alto firewall, how to configure management interface of your Palo Alto firewall from GUI, graphical user interface, or from the CLI. Once we will done with that, I'll just move towards the licensing and software updates. Guys, tell me one thing. If you will receive a fresh box from Palo Alto, Now you are planning to install that box into the rack. The first thing which you will do is you will do the rack and stack activity. You will rack mount your box, and after that you will basically configure the management interface to get the access, to get the firewall access through graphical user interface and through SSH. And the third thing, what you will do now, you will have go for the licensing and software updates part, right? It is true, guys, or not? Who is working in production environment? These are the steps we have to follow, right? So here I will tell you how we can do the licensing in your Palo Alto Firewall. What type of license offered by Palo Alto Firewall? What is URL filtering license? What is wildfire license? What is global protect license? What is the premium support license? What are the license you need for log management? What are the license you need for to enable your threat prevention, like your vulnerability protection, your antivirus protection? All such kind of details we will discuss here. And I will also tell you how we, if your firewall have the internet connection, then how we can fetch this detail through the support portal. If your firewall is not having the internet connection, then how we can download the license file offline into your system and we can upload into your Palo Alto firewall. So these things we will see in your license management. And after that, we will look for the software updates. If you want to do the upgrade, let's suppose in your organization you have already deployed 20 firewalls, and all these 20 firewalls you are running version 10.2.3, and now you have received two Palo Alto box which you want to deploy in a site, and let's suppose by default on these box they are running with 10.0.0. Now what you have to do now, you also need to take care of the upgrade, right? So how we can do the upgrade till these particular 10.2.3? What is the upgrade path? Everything we will discuss here. Once we will done with that, we will look for the account administration, how we can basically create the accounts for L1 engineers, for L2 engineers, for L3 engineers to restrict their authentication and authorization there. Then how we will see how we can integrate your Palo Alto firewall with the radius server, like we have a Cisco Wise, or let's suppose we have a Aruba ClearPass where all your user database available. Then how you can integrate your Palo Alto firewall using the radius with the Cisco Wise or with the Aruba ClearPass, and how we can use the user database, whatever database we are having into these devices for authentication and authorization. Then once we will done with that, I'll move towards your next topic, which is how we can basically create the admin roles according to the user access. For L1 engineer, we will create admin roles. For L2 engineers, we will create a admin roles. For contractor, we will create admin roles, right? So these type of admin roles we will create and we will discuss. And after that, we will also discuss how to configure the interfaces. Here we are discussing, or I am discussing the data port, basically, which will process your users traffic, how we can configure the data interfaces, how we can create the security zones with the help of CLI and with the help of graphical user interface. What is layer 2 deployment? What is layer 3 deployment? What is virtual wire deployment? What is tap mode deployment? We will do all these things in your lab environment. We will do the practicals for that. We will discuss these particular deployment details. And after we will discuss what is the concept of sub interfaces in Palo Alto Firewall. Then what is the concept of DHCP client, DHCP server, and DHCP relay agent in your Palo Alto firewall? Once we will done with that, I'll move towards your virtual router, because if we want to configure routing in your Palo Alto firewall, we have to create the virtual router. So we will discuss the virtual router, how we can create the virtual router, and after that, how we can enable the routing into these virtual routers. What is the multiple virtual router setup? When we need a multiple virtual routers, what is the use case for that? How we can allow the communication between two virtual routers like VR1 and VR2? How we can allow the routing between them? So all these things we will discuss in detail. Once we will complete that, After that, I'll just move towards your security policy and net policies. What we will discuss here, security policy and net policy, how we can create the security policies, how we can create the net policies in your firewall, how to do the policy configuration, how to do the policy administration, how to create a source net, how to create the destination net, how to configure the U-turn net. Here we will discuss three types of destination net use case: one-to-one, one-to-many, and with the port forwarding. So all these kind of net we will discuss in detail. Once we will done with that, I'll move towards your application ID or app ID feature. Here we will discuss what is app ID overview, how your Palo Alto Firewall process or do the application identification for TCP traffic, how your Palo Alto Firewall do the app identification for UDP traffic. All these things we will discuss in detail. Then we will discuss what is the concept of application groups and what is the concept of application filters. How we can create application groups to allow the application, to deny the application. How we can create a filter to block some application, to allow some applications. So these things we will discuss in detail. Once we will complete that part, or guys, here in this app ID, here we will see how we can block your YouTube, Netflix traffic, right? How we can block all the risk level 5 application, risk level 4 applications, and how we can do the whitelisting of risk level 4 and 5 applications, right? How we can allow the Facebook, but we can block the Facebook chat. So all these kind of details we will discuss. Once we will done with that, I'll just move towards your content identification. In content ID, we will do the practical for antivirus protection, how we can configure the antivirus protection. I will try to download the antivirus from the internet and we will see how my Palo Alto firewall is blocking, how my Palo Alto Firewall protecting us from the virus if we are trying to download any virus file from the internet. Then we will discuss what is anti-spyware protection profile, how we can configure. In anti-spyware protection, we will also discuss here DNS sinkhole. What is the concept of DNS sinkholing? How to configure DNS sinkhole, all these details we will discuss. And after that, I will basically discuss the vulnerability protection. What is vulnerability protection? How to configure vulnerability protection. Here, I will try to exploit some type of vulnerability using the Kali Linux machine. I will try to exploit some vulnerabilities of my Windows server, which is behind your Palo Alto firewall. We will launch some brute force attack, such kind of things we will do. We will run some dictionary attacks and everything to test your vulnerability protection is working fine or not. And after that, we will move towards and we will see the URL filtering, how we can configure the URL filtering in your Palo Alto firewall, how to block the adult website, how we can block the malware websites, how we can allow the social networking websites. So such kind of things we will see in your URL filtering. In URL filtering, I will also give you some advanced overview of external dynamic list, how we can configure the custom URL filtering, how this URL filtering is happening in your Palo Alto firewall. What is the data plane cache for URLs? What is management plane cache for URLs, right? What is the cloud lookup? What is the PanDB URL filtering solution? What is Bright Cloud URL filtering solution? What type of license we need? All such kind of details we will see in your URL filtering lecture. And after that, we will move towards your file blocking and wildfire. In file blocking, I will show you how we can block or how we can allow the uploading of the files, how we can control uploading and downloading of different types of files. So all these things we will see in your file blocking. And here I will give you the advanced overview of your wildfire, how we can configure the wildfire features to get the 0-day protection in your Palo Alto firewall. Once we will done with that, I'll move towards the zone protection and DOS protection session. In your zone protection and DOS protection, we will see if somebody is launch any type of TCP flood attack, TCP SYN flood attack, UDP flood attack, or ICMP flood attack, or someone is trying to launch any type of IP spoofing attack, then how we can protect from these type of attacks using the zone protection profile and using the DOS protection policy. What is the main difference between zone protection and DOS protection, right? So we will see these things in detail, and I will launch these live attacks from my Kali Linux machine into this PaloAlto firewall, and we will see how PaloAlto firewall is providing the protection to us. Once we will done with that, I'll move towards your decryption. In decryption, I will give you the advanced overview of your SSL handshake. What is SSL handshake? And once you become familiar with the SSL handshake, I'll move towards your certificate management. What type of certificate we are having? What is root certificate? What is intermediate certificate? What is identity certificate? Once you get the idea of certificates, I move towards your outbound SSL decryption. What is outbound SSL decryption, or what is SSL forward proxy? How PaloAlto firewall do the outbound SSL decryption? How this particular outbound SSL decryption is implemented inside your PAN-OS. So I will give you here advanced overview. What is FPTCP segment in your SSL decryption? What is SSL engine? All such kind of details we will discuss. What is inbound SSL decryption? How we can do the decryption for packets or for the traffic which is coming towards our environment. Then we will discuss what is SHS decryption, because nowadays lots of attacks is happening using the SSH tunnel. How we can restrict these SSH tunnel type of attacks through our PaloAlto firewall. Once we will complete your SSL decryption, I'll move towards the most important topic of your PaloAlto firewall, which is user ID. How we can configure the user identification in PaloAlto firewall. How to do the Active Directory integration into your PaloAlto firewall. How to configure users to IP mapping. Let's suppose our scope is just to user to IP mapping. Then what is the configuration we have to do in your PaloAlto firewall? What is the user ID agent concept? How we can configure the user ID agent in your PaloAlto firewall? Once we will done with that, in your user ID, I will also tell you how we can configure the group mapping. If you want to configure the group mapping, let's suppose we have created some groups for HR users. We have created some groups for sales peoples. We have created some groups for IT admins, right? Then how we can block the access of these particular peoples on the basis of their groups. Like to HR people, we will allow the access of job posting site, but we will block the access of social networking site. But to sales people, we will allow the access of job, we will allow the access of social networking site, but we will block the access of job posting sites for sales people, right? So such kind of things we will do, and we will try to test with the help of group mapping. Once we will done with that, I'll move towards the concept of site-to-site VPN in your PaloAlto firewall. What is site-to-site VPN? What is phase 1 exchange? What is phase 2 exchange? What is main mode? What is aggressive mode, right? How my PaloAlto exchange 6 messages in main mode, right? What are the content they use to exchange? Everything we will see in detail. Even though, guys, if you remember, if somebody have a knowledge of VPNs, you know, up in main mode, they used to exchange, guys, 6 messages. Yes, no on the chat. Guys who know the VPN, do you familiar with main mode? They used to exchange 6 messages, right? Now, in these 6 messages, what are the 2 messages which is exchanged by both the peers in encrypted way? Anyone know? Out of these 6 messages, like message number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which message they will exchange in clear. Which message they will exchange in clear text? Which two messages they will exchange in encrypted way? What are the two messages encrypted? So I got the answer from Raghav, 5 and 6, right? And after that, message number 7, 8, and 9, this is also encrypted, right? So your encryption start from message number 5 onwards. And after that, all the packets they will exchange through ESP, which is also encrypted. Guys, here I will tell you how we can decrypt this message number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and all the ESP messages. How we can get the session keys like SKID E, SKID D, and SKID A, all these kind of details. We will see all these things practically, guys, in your labs of your IPsec VPN. Here, guys, I have written around 13 use case of your IPsec VPN, and I will try to cover here 3-4 use cases as well for your IPsec VPN. These are the around 13 use cases which you generally get in the production environment. If you are working with PaloAlto firewall and you want to configure the IPsec tunnels in your PaloAlto firewall, then these are the use cases you may face. Like IPsec site-to-site VPN configuration between two firewalls, both firewalls having the static IP. Here we will use pre-shared key. In the second use case, we will configure the IPsec site-to-site VM between two firewall having a static IP at both end using the certificate. So here we will utilize the concept of public key infrastructure, PKI. IPsec site-to-site VPN between two firewall devices having overlapping subnet. This is the most important use case, guys. Maybe at your head office or at your environment, you are using 10.0.0/8 series, and the customer for which you are configuring the VPN, they are also using 10.0.0/8 series. Means it's an overlapping concept. Now, how you can basically configure the VPN to allow the communication in case of overlapping subnets? Then IPsec site-to-site VPN between two firewall devices, where one peer having the dynamic IP address. Here we will see the concept of aggressive mode. Then IPsec site-to-site VPN between two firewall devices, where one peer behind the net gateway. IPsec site-to-site VPN with the help of dual ISPs at the single firewall with a remote firewall. Means if we have a dual ISP at your head office and we just have a single ISP at your branch office, then how we will configure the IPsec site-to-site VPN? Then here we will see failover using the tunnel monitoring, failover using the static route path monitoring, or failover using the virtual router and policy based forwarding. Then IPsec site-to-site VPN between PaloAlto firewall and Cisco ASA. IPsec site-to-site VPN between Cisco ASA and PaloAlto, where PaloAlto have the IP address from DSCP, dynamic IP address. Then we will configure the route-based IPsec site-to-site VPN using OSPF. This is also known as hub and spoke type of environment, like hub and spoke IPsec site-to-site VPN. Once we will done with that, I'll move towards the most important topic of your PaloAlto firewall, which is Global Protect, which is also known as remote access VPN solution from PaloAlto. In Global Protect, I will go through with the Global Protect connection flow, because if you want to do the troubleshooting of Global Protect, you need to know the connection flow. Without connection flow, you cannot able to do any type of troubleshooting of your PaloAlto firewall. Then Global Protect connection method. What is user logon method? What is user logon then on demand method? What is pre-logon then on demand? What is pre-logon then user logon, right? All these type of connection method we will discuss in detail, and what are the use cases for these particular methods in your Global Protect. And guys, in your Global Protect, I will tell you how we can decrypt your SSL or your TLS messages to check the connection flow. What type of traffic is going through your Global Protect NIC card or Global Protect virtual NIC card if you have connected with your PaloAlto firewall GP. Once we will done with that, I'll move towards how we can configure the syslog server, how we can configure the netflow server, what are the log types, how we can do the modification for dashboard, basic logging, basic reporting. On Panorama, guys, I will not give you I will just give you one overview of Panorama, but I have created a dedicated Panorama series. It's a more than 30 plus hours of series. So I will recommend you can basically go for that particular series if you want to learn everything with regards to Panorama. Once we will done with that, I'll move towards your active passive high availability, how to configure active passive high availability. And in your active passive high availability, I am going to discuss the advanced overview of HA agent daemon and your pan DHA daemon, how your PaloAlto Firewall 1 and PaloAlto Firewall 2 communicate with each other using these two particular daemon processes. What is HA1 interface? What is HA2 interface? Everything we will discuss in detail. Here I will explain you the advanced overview of your active passive high availability. Then we will discuss your active high availability, how we can configure active HA. What is the floating IP HA lab? So we will do the HA active HA configuration using floating IP. We will do the active HA configuration using rplot share method, and we will do the active HA configuration using the mixed mode. So these are the three types of use cases available for your active HA. And guys, after that, I will also go through with the troubleshooting webinar where we will discuss what is packet filter concept in your PaloAlto firewall, what is packet capture concept in your PaloAlto firewall, what is flow basic concept in your PaloAlto firewall, how we can create the filters, how we can take the packet captures, and how we can analyze the details, how we can analyze the packets. And if your issue we are not able to resolve with the help of packet filter and packet captures, then I'll move towards your flow basic, which is a advanced troubleshooting commands. Or you can say these three things comes under the advanced troubleshooting approach for your packet based troubleshooting in your PAN-OS. Then we will see how we can run the TCP dump to capture the traffic in your management interface if there is any problem. I will also give you some idea of your management plane troubleshooting and data plane troubleshooting. So guys, this is the course content of your PaloAlto firewall. And guys, let me just tell you, this training will cover your PC NSA plus PC NSE. Guys, in PC NSE, they will also include some part of Panorama. But guys, Panorama I will not cover in this particular batch. I used to have a dedicated batches or dedicated classes for Panorama. So this thing you have to note now. So guys, this is the course content which we are going to discuss. Now let me just go through one small topic today's, so you can judge how I used to deliver the session. So we will discuss the PaloAlto firewall SP3 architecture. What is the single pass architecture in your PaloAlto firewall? So let's try to understand the SP3 architecture. So let me just open one of the diagram for that. So give me 1 sec, guys. SP3 architecture is below just. Okay. So guys, now let's try to understand the SP3 architecture in your PaloAlto firewall. So first of all, just remember one thing. In your interview, what they used to ask, in every interview of your PaloAlto firewall, they will ask you one question like, what is the SP3 architecture? Or maybe they will ask, can you explain the Palo Alto firewall architecture? So guys, first of all, you have to remember the full form of SP3 architecture. SP3 stand for single pass software plus parallel processing hardware. Guys, this is the full form of your SP3, single pass software and parallel processing hardware. So guys, now first we will try to understand what is this parallel processing hardware in your Palo Alto firewall. So guys, what used to happen, if you will see the architecture of your Palo Alto firewall, generally in Palo Alto firewall, you will see two things. You will see one control plane and the another plane is data plane. This control plane is also known as management plane, and this data plane is your DP. Now, because in Palo Alto firewall, they have segregated the management plane and data plane. Means your box, it has a two planes, management plane and data plane. And after that, this data plane is further divided into three another planes. We have a network processor, we have a data plane CPU, which is also known as security processor, and we have a content engine, or which is known as signature match processor. This processor is your signature match processor. Means what they have done, they have divided your data plane into three another planes. And guys, these three planes, your networking, your security and content, they have a dedicated resources. They don't have any type of resource level dependency, which means they can able to process the packet independently. They don't have any type of dependency on each other. So such kind of benefit you will get. Now guys, this parallel processing hardware means now these three engines, these three processor, they can able to process the packet at the same time. They don't have any type of resource level dependency on each other. Now, if I'll give you the advanced architecture of these planes, let me just see here if I'll have anything, any diagram from my previous sessions. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's a very good diagram, guys. So if you will see into this diagram, in your firewall, first we have an interfaces stack. This is your interfaces stack. All these interfaces, they have a connectivity with one of the chip inside your Palo Alto firewall. That chip name is Marvel chip. And guys, sometime you will also get one more chip here, Marvel chip plus Petra chip. This Petra chip you will see in a physical boxes who has the SFP plus ports or your fiber ports. If fiber ports available in your Palo Alto firewall box, which means these ports, they have a connectivity with the Petra chip. And after that, this Marvel chip, it has a connectivity through these links with one of the chip is known as Liger chip in low end boxes, and in high end boxes, you will see the Tiger chip. And this chip is known as network processor. Network processor is also a session offloader, guys, and it's a FPGA field programmable gateway array. This network processor, it can able to process the packet from layer 2 to layer 4, means it can able to understand the layer 2 header, it can able to understand the layer 3 header, and it can also able to understand the layer 4 header, which means it can able to apply your security policies, it can also able to apply your net rules. Then we have a Octeon chip. Octeon chip is also known as data plane CPU. Then this Octeon chip, it has a connectivity with one more chip, which is known as Jaguar chip. This Jaguar chip is also known as signature match processor, or we can say your pattern match processor. This Jaguar chip is responsible for doing two things: content identification and application identification. Your content ID and your app ID task is done by the Jaguar chip. And guys, all these chips, they have a connectivity with each other through these particular links. These links is known as joy links. These are the high speed fiber links. This links is known as joy links, guys. Okay. Now, if you will see here, we have a management plane, which is also known as control plane. Your management plane has a dedicated CPU, dedicated RAM, dedicated SSD. It has a dedicated management port and dedicated HA port. This port is your HA1 port. And your management plane is responsible for your configuration management, your logging management, and your reporting management. These are the three tasks which is done by the management plane. Apart from that, this management plane is also responsible for some type of daemon like your system D. Your IKE manager, there are multiple daemons is running in your PaloAlto firewall. All these type of daemons is also a part of your management plane. These daemons runs in your management plane. And we have a data plane. Now data plane is further divided into network processor, which is your Liger and Tiger chip. Security processor, which is your Octeon chip or your data plane CPU. And your signature match processor, which is your Jaguar chip. And guys, in your Octeon chip, it has a two more unit. You will see one more unit here, which is your you will see one SSL engine as well here. That SSL engine is responsible for doing some type of complex task like your SSL decryption and all. That is also available into your security processor. And guys, these particular processor, they have a dedicated RAM, they have a dedicated CPUs, so they can able to work independently. That is, guys, your parallel processing architecture. Your Palo Alto firewall architecture is divided into three parts. Or your Palo Alto firewall data plane is divided into three parts or three planes: networking processor, security match processor, and your signature match processor. Or if you want to tell in advance, you can see your data plane is divided into, or data plane having three chips. First chip is your Tiger or Liger chip, which is known as network processor. Then we have Octeon chip, which is your data plane CPU. And guys, your data plane CPU will process the packet according to the packet flow, according to the life of a packet inside your PAN-OS. This network processor, it is only processing the packet which is offloaded, because you know this processor is a session offloader, so it will only process the offloaded packets. And your app ID and content ID task done by the Jaguar chip. In Jaguar chip, there is a two algorithms are running. First algorithm is known as DFA, and the second algorithm is known as AHO. This DFA algorithm is responsible for your app ID, and your AHO algorithm is responsible for your content ID. Okay, so that's how your Palo Alto firewall architecture is divided, guys. And because you know, now your Palo Alto firewall can process the packet independently. What? It can able to process the packet independently. And guys, one more benefit you will get, because they have a dedicated data plane and dedicated management plane, which means if somebody launch the DDoS attack here. So guys, in that case, your data plane will affect, your management plane is safe. Now you can log in into your firewall through this management plane and you can do the troubleshooting. Because you know it has a your management plane is having the dedicated resources. In the similar way, if somebody launches the DDoS attack into your management plane, your data plane is safe. Your users traffic will not affect. So such kind of benefit also you will get in your Palo Alto firewall. Even though guys, if somebody launch or if you have any type of problem into your data plane, what you can do, you can restart your data plane. You can just restart, you can just reboot your data plane. You don't need to reboot the entire box. If you have some problems in your management plan, you can reboot that particular process itself. You don't need to reboot the entire box. So such kind of benefit also you will get in your Palo Alto 5, because you know, this is the CLI of my Palo Alto 5. If I show you one command, show system software status, you can see these particular daemons, your FMGR, IKMGR, key manager, L3SPC, log receiver, master D, management server, monitor DP, right? MP relay agent and all. Guys, these are the daemons which is available in your Palo Alto firewall. And these daemons are responsible for your packet processing and other tasks. These are the daemons who will responsible for doing different tasks inside your PAN-OS. If I'll say your IPsec VPN, in your IPsec VPN, there's a multiple daemons. The first daemon who involved is your IKMGR. The second daemon who will involve is your key MGR, key manager. Then the next daemon is your crypto D. Then fourth daemon is your tunnel D. Fifth daemon is your MP relay. These are the around 5 daemons who will involve in your IPsec VPN related tasks. These 3 daemons, they are a part of your management plane. And these 2 daemons is part of your data plane. Now, if you have any issues, right, what you have to do? If you have an issue with your IPsec VPN, if there is an issue with your data plane, means you are not able to process the IPsec packets properly, you can restart these 2 daemons. If your firewall is not able to create the keys on time, if you have any kind of problem, you can restart this particular process. They will fix your problems, right? So it's used to happen in this way, guys. These are the type of benefit you will get by segregating the management plane and data plane in your Palo Alto firewall. Now let me give you one more idea. I have to explain you one more thing here. Let me just go into this one. If you will see into this diagram, guys, I have a control plane. This is known as management plane. And guys, here I have a multi-core CPU. Guys, this CPU is a normal Intel CPUs. These are the normal Intel CPUs. They have a dedicated RAM and they have a dedicated SSD. But in your data plane, you can see network processor. Here we have a dedicated Liger or Tiger chip. Your network processor can able to do the routing related tasks, your ARP related tasks, your MAC address lookup, your net related tasks, your quality of service related tasks. Your multi-core security processor. Here we have a dedicated Octeon chip. These are the chip which is designed for your Palo Alto firewall data plane task. And you will sometime you will see here multiple core or multiple CPUs like 16 core CPUs. In high-end boxes, you will see here 48 core CPUs, 3 chips, not one. You will get the 3 chips as well in your 5200 series box or 7000 series box. And you will get the dedicated SSL engine, dedicated IPsec engine, and dedicated decompression engine for doing these complex tasks. And we have a signature match processor where we have a dedicated Jaguar chip who is responsible for doing your app ID and content ID related task. That's how your management plane and data plane is segregated. And now guys, what they can do, this processor can work, this can also work, this can also work. Let's suppose we have received 3 packets. Let's take an example. For a fellow, I have received 3 packets, packet number 1, packet number 2, and packet number 3. Maybe my packet number 1 is processed by the networking engine. Maybe packet number 2 is on a processing by the multi-core CPU, which is Octane chip. Maybe packet number 3 is processed by the signature match processor. So guys, you can see this is a parallel processing behavior. All 3 packets got processed at the same time. So such kind of benefit you will get with the help of parallel processing hardware architecture of your Palo Alto firewall. And guys, your actual parallel processing architecture is applied into your high-end boxes like 5200 series, 7000 series boxes. There is a one more diagram I'm having. So let me just try to fetch this diagram. So, give me 1 second. Let me just found that diagram. So you will get some more idea on that basically. Where is that diagram? Do I have here? These are the 30 to 20 series box architecture or 30 to 50 series, 30 to 60 series box architecture, right? Not that one. I have a 52 5000 series box architecture somewhere on my notes, not on this one. Yep. If you will see this diagram, guys, in 5000 series box, you can see at your data plane, CPU, we have a three chips. This is known as DP0, this is known as DP1, and this is known as DP2. We have a three Octeon chip here, Octeon chip 1, Octeon chip 2, and Octeon chip 3. Now guys, what used to happen, if we have received a multiple packets, maybe one packet processed by DP0, second packet may be processed by DP1, and third packet may be processed by DP2, means all three packets gets processed by the Palo Alto firewall just in one go. That's your parallel processing architecture. That's your parallel processing hardware inside your Palo Alto firewall. It can able to process these packets, and guys, because you know it, if my Octeon chip 1 or this DP0, it has a 12 CPUs, which means it can able to process 12 packets at the same time. 12 packet can also process by this chip DP1 as well, and 12 packet or 12 tasks can be performed by this particular chip because they have a 12 core of CPUs. And generally in high-end boxes, you will see 48 core here, 48 core here, and 48 core here. And your 5200 series box means 48 packets can process by your data plan 0, 48 packets can be processed by DP1, and 48 packets can be processed by DP2. That processing used to happen in this way. So that is guys your data plane CPU, and your security processor, you have a chip which is Octane. You can see this name here. High density parallel processing for flexible security functionalities. Hardware acceleration for standard complex functions like your SSL, IPsec, and decompression. We have these dedicated engines as well. And your signature match processor or engine is known as Jaguar chip, which do the stream-based uniform signature match. It is responsible for your app ID and content ID. You can see vulnerabilities, virus, spyware protection, and many more. And at the network processor, we have a chip called Tiger chip. And they have connected with these high-speed joy links. These are the 20 Gbps joy links. And we have a dedicated control plane or management plane. And we do have one more switch fabric where we have a Petra chip. That Petra chip will connect the fiber ports, guys. So guys, this is your parallel processing hardware in your Palo Alto firewall. Now let's try to understand what is single pass software now. Let me just explain you the single pass software. In SP3, we have a two component, right? Parallel processing hardware and single pass software. So now let's try to understand this single pass software. Guys, just remember one thing, your single pass software is applied when your PaloAlto firewall is doing the content identification. And your content ID, it includes your antivirus protection, anti-spyware protection, your vulnerability protection, your file policies, your wildfire protection, your URL filtering protection. All these comes under your content ID, and your single pass architecture applied at the content engine means your single pass software is applied at your Jaguar chip. Jaguar chip will do the single pass software. How it used to happen? So guys, if you remember, in this Jaguar chip, you have seen multiple RAMs, right? They have a multiple RAM. If I will show you here, you can see this is your Jaguar. It has around 4 RAMs, right? This is your signature match processor. So now how it used to how it used to apply the single pass software thing. What used to happen? Generally, your packet, it it is basically delivered, or this packet. Let me just draw this diagram, and after that I will tell you. So guys, what used to happen? Once your Oction chip, when it will complete the packet processing, what it used to do for app identification and content identification, it will forward the layer 7 information. What it will do, it will forward the layer 7 information towards the signature match processor. Once this signature match processor will get the layer 7 information, what it used to do, it used to store this layer 7 information from the packet into the RAM. So your packet is loaded here into the RAM at the some memory location like 000, then 001, 002, 003. These are the some memory locations where it has just loaded the layer 7 information from the packet. And after that, what used to happen? Because in this particular chip, it has all the database. It has all the signature database for your antivirus. So it has an antivirus signature database, anti-spyware signature database, vulnerability protection signature database, URL filtering cache, your file blocking information, your wildfire database. It has all these kind of database. So what it used to do, once this packet is loaded, see all these particular database just checked once. This packet is checked once against all these particular database, just in one go. They will process the packet, and after that they will just return the results. Means now this packet is processed together at the same time by all these particular engines. Because you know these are the small engines which we are running in your Jaguar chip. Antivirus signature database available in your antivirus engine, right? Then we have anti-spyware signature engine who will responsible for your antivirus related task, right? So all this packet is processed by all these together, and after that your packet is exit out. So this is your single pass architecture, means just in a single go the processing is happening. The packet processing is happening just in single go. But in other devices, what used to happen, if I have the diagram for multi-pass architecture, let me just tell you. So multi-pass architecture I don't have here, but I think I will get that particular architecture here somewhere. In multipass architecture, what used to happen? So, you know, in other boxes, like in your UTM boxes, like your FortiGate firewall or your Cisco ASA or Cisco FTD, what they used to do, first they used to go through with the firewall policies. Then if they wants to do the URL filtering, then they have to send this packet to the URL database altogether. Then once URL is done, then they have to send this packet through the IPS engine, then through the antivirus engine. Means first this is happening, then this happening, then this happening, then this happening. But in Palo Alto firewall, all these things is happening together just in one go. So that's the benefit of your Palo Alto firewall. That's why Palo Alto firewall is known as it's a single pass architecture. It's have a SP3 architecture, like single pass software and parallel processing hardware. So guys, this is the topic which I want to discuss with regards to your today's class. And that's it guys for this particular demo session. Let me again tell you one thing. This particular batch, I'm starting from 12 of Feb and timing is 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. IST. First, we will go with the Palo Alto firewall. Once Palo Alto will complete, we will go for the F5 Ltm classes. Your and guys, the timing is 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's a weekends batch. Your classes will happen Saturday and Sunday. First, we will complete your Palo Alto, then we will start your F5 Ltm. Your Palo Alto takes around 8 to 9 weeks, and your F5 Ltm will take around 6 to 7 weeks. And the fees for this particular training is 10,000. That's it, guys, from the demo lecture. Let me just stop the recording.